Hey everyone, ready to learn some English and have some fun along the way?
Absolutely. We're going to make it easy to use these phrases in your everyday life, especially for those just starting with English.
Exactly. So, to help us with that, we have our expert with us, ready to unpack some awesome dialogue.
Let's jump right in.
Okay, so today's deep dive, we're calling it Talking About Colors. We're going to analyze a simple conversation between friends. You'll learn some basic colors and how to use them naturally.
Think of it as a cheat sheet for talking colors in English.
Perfect. Let's set the scene. You're out shopping with a friend looking at clothes. You find a sweater and want to know what your friend thinks. That's where our dialogue kicks off. Let me introduce you to our speakers, Alex and Ella. I'll be Ella, and our expert will be Alex.
Hi, Ella.
Hi, Alex. This green sweater looks so nice. What do you think, Alex?
It's nice, but don't you think it's a bit too bright?
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
What about this navy one? It's more subtle.
Yeah, I like it. Navy goes well with almost everything.
True, but I feel like green is more unique.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Do you want to try both?
Sure. Let's see how they look.
See? Easy, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
You just had a real conversation in English. Now let's break down what made that dialogue so effective, even though it was so simple.
The first thing to notice is that question, what do you think? It's your go-to phrase for asking someone's opinion in English. It's polite, and it really invites the other person to share their thoughts.
I love how Ellis starts the conversation with that. It pulls Alex right in.
Exactly. And notice how naturally Alex gives his opinion. He doesn't just say yes or no, he expresses his preference, saying the green is too bright.
And that brings us to our first key word, bright. It describes a color that's strong and intense, something that catches your eye.
Like a sunny sky or a field of sunflowers. That's bright.
Perfect examples. Now let's look at navy. It's classic, and like Alex said, it goes well with almost everything.
Right. Navy is a dark blue, often used for clothes like sweaters, pants, even suits. It's versatile, easy to wear.
And a nice contrast to the bright green. But Ella's not giving up. She likes the green because it's unique.
Unique means one of a kind, something special that stands out. Ella thinks the green sweater will help her express her own style.
It's like she's saying, I want to be different. I want to be noticed.
Exactly. And that's how even a simple color can say something about you.
Okay, so we've got bright, navy, and unique. 3 words that can change a whole conversation about clothes.
And remember, even if you're just starting to learn English, you can have a real conversation using simple words like these. The key is to practice and use them in different situations. And here's something interesting. In that short conversation, Alex and Ella, they did more than talk about colors. They revealed something about themselves and their personalities.
I see what you mean. It's like their favorite colors show us their personal style.
Exactly. So Alex prefers that subtle navy. He might be someone who likes classic looks, timeless, elegant things.
Yeah, makes sense. He even said navy goes well with almost everything. Sounds like someone who values simplicity, being versatile.
Right. Now, Ella, on the other hand, she's drawn to that unique green. Maybe she's more adventurous with her clothes. Someone who wants to stand out.
Yeah, totally. Like she's saying, I don't want to blend in. I want to make a statement.
Exactly. And that's the power of understanding not just the words, but the subtle messages they send. Reading between the lines.
So it's not just learning color names. It's understanding how people use them to express themselves.
Precisely. Let's go back to the word subtle for a sec. Remember Alex used it to describe that navy sweater? It's a great word to use when something is understated. Not too flashy or attention-grabbing.
Right, like a quiet whisper or gentle breeze.
Yeah.
It's there, but it doesn't demand all your attention.
Exactly. And a subtle isn't just for colors. You can use it for lots of things. Imagine a friend tells a joke that makes you smile, but you don't, burst out laughing. You might say they have a subtle sense of humor.
Oh, I like that. It's not over the top, but it still makes an impact.
Precisely. It's all about the nuance, the delicate shades of meaning that make our language so rich.
This is fascinating. I'm seeing how simple words can have so many layers.
And we're just scratching the surface. Let's go back to the dialogue and focus on a phrase that many English learners find tricky, don't you think?
Okay, I see it. Alex says, it's nice, but don't you think it's a bit too bright? What's so tricky about that?
Well, it seems like a simple question, but it's actually doing two things. It's asking for Ella's opinion, but it's also hinting that Alex thinks the green is too bright.
Oh, I get it. It's like he's planting his seeds during the conversation.
Exactly. And this is where cultural context is important. In English-speaking cultures, it's polite to be indirect, especially when you disagree.
So instead of just saying, that green is too bright, Alex makes it softer by asking a question.
Exactly. A way to be polite and respectful, but still get your point across.
That's helpful, like a secret code for English conversations.
And once you know the code, conversations get easier and more enjoyable.
This is amazing. Feels like we're finding hidden treasures in this simple dialogue.
That's the beauty of language, always full of surprises.
Now, before we move on, quick question. We've talked about words and phrases, but how does this all come together in a real conversation?
Great question. It brings us to the most important part of language learning, fluency.
Fluency. But we're only talking about colors.
I know, right? But fluency isn't just about speed or knowing lots of words. It's about how everything works together to create a smooth and natural conversation.
Okay, I'm starting to see what you mean.
It's like building a house. You need bricks, but you also need mortar to hold them together. You need a blueprint and a sense of style to make it all work.
So the words and phrases are like bricks, and fluency is the blueprint, the style, all in one.
Exactly, connecting the dots, seeing how each piece adds to the conversation.
Got it. So how do we develop fluency? Just practice, practice, practice.
Practice is key, but it's not just about repeating things. It's about practicing with a purpose, focusing on the flow and rhythm of English.
So it's not just what we say, but how we say it.
Precisely. Think about our dialogue again. See how Alex and Ella use pauses, intonation, even body language to communicate better.
Yeah, I see it. Even though we're just reading the words, I can imagine them looking at each other, using their hands, changing their tone of voice.
Exactly. Those nonverbal cues are part of fluency. They add another layer to the conversation and make it more interesting.
Wow, this is eye-opening. Like we're peeling back the layers of language.
That's what makes language learning so rewarding. It's a journey full of surprises.
This has been so insightful. We've gone beyond vocabulary and grammar and started to understand how people really communicate.
And that's what we do here on the Deep Dive.
Right.
We don't just skim the surface. We dive deep into language and explore its power and beauty.
Well said. Now, before we wrap up this part, a quick reminder for our listeners. If you're enjoying the episode and finding this helpful, please subscribe to the Deep Dive and give us a like. It helps us spread the love of language learning.
And stay tuned for part 3 of our deep dive on talking about colors coming up next. We'll be looking at even more interesting things about color and how it reflects who we are.
Can't wait to continue this colorful journey with you. All right, so we've talked about words and phrases, even body language. But what's the big takeaway here? What does this all mean for someone who wants to get better at talking about colors?
You know, that's a great question. And the answer is simpler than you think. Pay attention.
Pay attention to what?
To everything. To the colors around you, the colors people wear, the colors you see in ads, even the colors you're naturally drawn to.
I see what you mean, like becoming more aware of colors, like a visual language.
Exactly. So noticing patterns. What colors do you see in nature? What colors make you happy or calm? What colors do you see most in your favorite stores?
Interesting. It's like taking a color inventory of your world.
Precisely. And as you become more aware of color, you'll start to see how it affects our choices and how we see things.
So it's not just about learning words. It's about understanding what colors mean and how they impact us.
You got it. Like, think about the color blue. We often connect it with calmness, peace, even trust. That's why so many companies use it in their logos.
Oh, that's interesting. Like banks and insurance companies trying to show they're stable and reliable.
Exactly. Now think about red. It's powerful. We think of passion, excitement, even danger. That's why it's used for stop signs and fire
It's
trucks.
sports cars. Red means speed and energy.
Right, and you see those associations in our everyday conversations too. Someone wearing a bright red dress, you might say they look stunning or bold.
And someone wearing a soft blue sweater might look relaxed or approachable.
Precisely. So, understanding the psychology of color can help you learn new words and become a better communicator.
Wow, this is amazing. It's like we've discovered a whole new way to think about color and language.
And this is just the start. The
Ah.
world of color is huge, and there's always more to explore.
So for our final thought today, I want to encourage everyone listening to embrace their curiosity about color. Don't just learn the words. Explore the feelings, the connections, the cultural differences that make each color unique.
That's a great challenge. And remember, learning English isn't just about rules, it's about opening yourself up to new ways of seeing the world.
Beautifully said. And that wraps up our deep dive into talking about colors. We hope you enjoyed it and found it inspiring.
If you liked our exploration of colors and conversation, be sure to subscribe to the Deep Dive for more deep dives into everyday English.
Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep those colorful conversations going.
Thanks for joining the conversation here at Kaz English. We hope you found it fun and informative. Don't forget to check out kazapp.uk. That's kazapp.uk for more tips, resources, and interactive practice. Keep exploring, keep chatting, and we'll catch up with you again soon.